Hey, what's going on? I'm Matt O'Leary back with another video, and today we will be doing some 5 bold predictions for the NFL draft, which is tomorrow. We finally made it. Before we get started, I just wanted to mention that you can follow me on social media at Matt O'Leary NY. If you haven't already, please make sure to check out the podcast. Link is down in the description below for everything you need, merch, whatever, subscribing, all that fun stuff. Get at it in the description below. All right, so here are my 5 bold predictions for the NFL draft from a Jets perspective. Let's kick it off with my first, which is that the Jets will trade out of either 23 or 34. I would be very surprised if Joe Douglas sits there and takes a player at either of those two spots. I think the two scenarios we could see is him either trading up for an offensive lineman, or if he doesn't like how the board is breaking, moving down a little bit. If he moves from 23, I don't think he'll move out of the first round. I'm talking maybe 4 or 5 spots, like if a team like Green Bay or New Orleans wants to move up to grab a wide receiver who's sitting there, and the Jets move back for, I don't know, let's call it a third round pick, an extra third round pick thrown in the mix. I don't know the exact math. I'm just saying a rough estimate of what we're talking about here. Or if he drops from like 34 to the mid 40s and picks up an extra pick along the way as well. I just think I'd be surprised if Douglas, who has shown the ability to move around the draft class, was going to sit there at both of those positions, 23 and 34, which are pretty premium picks, and just, take whoever is there. I think he's going to want to move around the board a little bit at that point. Obviously not messing around with pick 2. It's going to be Zach Wilson, but 23 or 34, I would be surprised if at the end of draft weekend, we're talking about who was picked at 23 and 34. I think there's some movement there. My second prediction is that the New York Jets will go edge before they go corner. And this is not something that I either A, want to happen, depending on how the board breaks, or B, not necessarily something that I would do. I just think it's something that's going to happen. And just look at Robert Saleh and how his defenses are. There's a heavy focus on the front 7, and you can quote unquote get by in a zone with some weaker corners because of the amount of pressure that you're going to get on the quarterback. I think one of their first 3 picks are going to be an edge, which, again, that's not something that's saying that I would do. If it were up to me, I might double up on offensive line, but I really think there's a chance that he goes edge before corner, which that's going to drive some Jet fans absolutely crazy, but I think we need to brace ourselves for the reality of that happening. Again, not saying that's something that I would necessarily do. It's all dependent on how the board breaks in my eyes. So I'm giving myself that caveat, but I think there's a strong chance the Jets do go edge before corner. Prediction number 3, the New York Jets will not draft a tight end in this draft class. Now, some people are all gung-ho on, you have to get a tight end in here, Freiermuth at 34, or Tommy Tremble in the 3rd or 4th round. And I like those players. I really do. And I don't know if I would necessarily sit here and say that I wouldn't draft a tight end. I'm still a Chris Herndon guy. I am team Herndon after Adam Gase watch, or whatever it's called. I think he's going to have a good career after Adam Gase is gone. I think the Jets are willing to punt on that position and address more quote unquote premium needs. For instance, offensive line, edge, corner, maybe a wide receiver, a deep threat. Instead, they decide to go more speed than a tight end, and they feel like they can quote unquote get by with what they have at that position. I don't know, just a gut feeling for me with my 3rd prediction. Number 4, Joe Douglas will once again, like last year, trade one of his 6th round picks for a veteran cornerback. Who that is, I don't know. It's not going to be someone who is like a plug and play starter, like, oh, that guy's definitely starting. But I'm talking like veteran depth. Essentially what he did last year with Quincy Wilson. That would not surprise me in the least. And he did that with Nate. He traded for Nate Hairston too, didn't he? So I think that the New York Jets will look to address that position in the draft and with either a free agent or a trade. And with multiple 6th, maybe he just has a dart throw and says, you know what, I'm not going to draft a player here in the 6th round who I don't have high expectations for. Instead, I will throw it at a reclamation project and see what we can get out of him and see if Robert Saleh can do a better job than what Greg Williams did last year with Quincy Wilson. And my 5th and final prediction is that Kenny Gainwell will be a New York Jet. I think he is a perfect fit for this offense. No, I am not team take Najee Harris or Travis Etienne early, but I think at 66 or 86, the Jets will absolutely, especially if they trade back and pick up another third-round pick, and on top of that, with either 23 or 34, I think they'll look to attack running back with someone who they feel can come in and play right away, which Kenny Gainwell will. He's a perfect fit in a wide zone running scheme. I would absolutely love it. I think he's a solid player, and I think a rotation of Gainwell, Coleman, and, oh my God, Ty Johnson would be perfect. I think that pushes LaMichael Pirine down a little bit, but I don't really know what his fit is in this offense anyway. But moral of the story, like these 5 things I think are, real possibilities, or some of them a little bit on the hot take side, I guess. Maybe some are more obvious to others, but I think, we have to be prepared for the Jets getting a little bit creative here in the NFL draft with Joe Douglas, who has shown last year, for instance, trading back from 48 when Denzel Mims was sitting there right on the board and still getting him after moving back, 10, 11 slots somewhere, I think maybe 58 or 59 they took him. Doesn't matter. The point, they were able to trade out and still get the guy that they wanted. So super excited for the NFL draft. Let me know some of your predictions down in the comments below or on social media. Make sure to subscribe if you're new, and I will talk to you next time.
Wow.